Hello and welcome, I am Lionmight. I'm a professional composer and music producer obsessed with video game music and nerd culture. What a great time it is to be a Genshin Impact fan like myself. So here I was yesterday, finally completing my Mawika build during her second banner, and immediately clearing dire difficulty in Stygian Onslaught after that, but that's beside the point. Hoyoverse just decides to drop the biggest 8-minute lore video, an animated short, out of nowhere. And of course, I'm here to watch it now. It's all gonna be first-time reaction, but as always, like most of my videos here, I will be focusing mostly on the music, leaving the lore and the story for myself at another time. Teyvat Chapter Interlude Teaser. The God's Limits. Ooh. Immediately sad piano. Ooh. Chopin.
This world has always been so. Life abides no reason, for none are born by their own consent.
She looks like Focalor.
Death abides no reason, for it cannot be defied,
So
even
classical.
by those who see it coming. Time abides no reason, for it deprives us all equally, yet brooks not a second to be reclaimed.
So grand.
Space abides no reason. The ruler of space stopped the golden-haired twin travelers and mercilessly tore them apart.
That's us, the travelers. Laser from the sky. That's brutal.
Naberius. No. This looks more like Rhinedottir's doing.
Yeah, it's Ronova.
Please don't litter other people's spaces with your bizarre creations.
It's Albedo's mom.
Unsurprisingly, all life here has been rendered unstable, tainted by the ruler of space. I have seen enough to know that repeating this experiment would be fruitless.
You seem to wield
Wow.
my power as if it were nothing but a plaything for your amusement. Although merging with you has stripped me of agency, I shall still continue to voice my disapproval. My dear Rhinedottir.
You have my respect, Naberius. Your nagging is one of the only things that can get under my skin.
They're so sassy to each other.
And you, Istaroth? Why did you bestow history upon them?
I had to find some way to pass the time, did I not? After all, it's clear that Asmoday is not here.
Well, perhaps you could share your input a little earlier next time. But you're right. There's no trace of Asmoday here. Where has she gone?
Mozart.
Anyway, it's time I put this space out of its misery.
Wow, the music is so classical heavy. Mozart, Chopin. Okay, now this sounds a bit more modern.
These meetings are just a formality. Does it really matter that only 3 of us are here?
I, for one, think that we should find her. Since the heavenly principles cast us as shades, not one of us has ever missed a meeting.
What if she just switched sides? Finding her would do more harm than good.
This is like a tea party.
Now there's an interesting idea.
Tea party of the gods.
Better than being devoured.
Oh, there's
Just switched
the vocals
sides.
again. So good.
You make it sound like such a trivial affair. We are shades, shadows of the heavenly principles. It's unthinkable.
So
Unless
good.
she loves her new master more than her own self.
Ronova, do you know that you're being watched?
By whom? Whose gaze could pierce this far?
Whoa.
I remember those eyes.
It's him, Piero.
It was just before I placed the curse of immortality.
Nice piano shrill. Oh my goodness. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bum. So emotional.
Ah, yes. He's an old acquaintance of mine. I'm sure that working for the Tsaritsas helped him let go of his past obsessions.
What
Mikhail
obsessions.
Archon. With her paltry powers, she dares set her gaze on the heavenly principles.
The heavenly principles have yet to awaken. If I were her, I wouldn't pass on that opportunity either.
My dear Rhinedottir, you know I cannot allow you to think that way.
It was purely hypothetical, Naberius.
For lack of a direct order, I say it's time we intervened. Of course, to the extent permitted by the rules.
No, there it is. Not cry.
The gaze of the gods has always been considered a blessing.
There's the Slavic folk
Hence
music.
the origin and meaning of visions. People have always yearned for the gaze of the gods. And yet, it is said that when mortals look directly upon the gods, they invite their wrath and retribution.
I like this
And
montage.
what of it? Lives will be lost, a nation brought to ruins. So be it. It is nothing I have not endured before. I already know the price of gazing upon the gods. So tell me, what is the price of killing a god? The god stays silent, as if the thought had never once crossed his mind. To all those who dare not look up to the heavens, Her Majesty the Tsaritsa says this.
Oh, wow.
Behold. Even the gods have their limits.
Celestia. Yeah, beautiful flute. And all those lutes.
Inspection over. Return to your posts.
Make sure the Frostmoon Scions don't pose a threat.
Per the Pale Star Edict, we are to retrieve the damselette from Nod Cry, whatever it takes.
Columbina. It's her. Okay, wow. So much to unpack with just the music. Of course, in the beginning, it was set in somewhere like a heavenly place, a heavenly space, like a tea party of the gods. During those sections, they focused more on the classical piano-heavy kind of style that is very reminiscent of Chopin, Mozart requiems. But then, it became a little bit impressionistic diatonic, akin to Debussy and Eric Satie during the parts where there are vocals, especially those untraditional chord progressions that it's mostly like jumping to and fro to different spaces, not staying in the same key tonal center. But then it goes back to the classical style. But then we go to the not-cry setting where the music gradually shifts, very smooth transition, gradually shifts to a more modern Slavic style of folk music, something that would not be out of place in The Witcher 3 soundtrack, where you will hear a lot of overtones, of harmonics. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is a bowed string, either a cello or a viola, but with some distortion and harmonic effects added to it, thus elevating the harmonic sounds, those tiny sounds that you don't usually hear with a naked ear. But then if you amplify those sounds, those harmonics, yeah, you can use artificial means to amplify those sounds. But then by the end, it goes into full European folk with lutes and that tin whistle. Oh my goodness. And I wasn't really even focusing on the dialogue. I suggest you watch it on your own, especially I'm talking over some of the dialogue. But yeah, the purpose of this video is to focus on the music. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. So yeah, watch it on your own and, you know, come back into the comments and tell me what you think after you've had your own listening session with it, because this is my own listening session with the music. It just so happens that I'm filming myself for your benefit as well. So go do that. But man, oh man, as a musician, this is par for the course. The quality, the composition, the production, and the arrangement is, of course, very much in the quality of Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is no stranger to borrowing elements of classical music. We've heard it all the way back in Mondstadt, even in Liyue, and especially in Fontaine. Oh my goodness. The classical inspirations in Fontaine alone deserves a separate video on its own. So tell me if you're interested about that, and I can make it happen. But oh wow. As a Genshin fan, I can't even begin to... I saw the photos of the characters on the Genshin social media accounts, and I've been most excited for Rhinedottir, Albedo's mom, because she's one of the characters that's always been teased all the way back, even earlier than Skirk. So yeah, the name Rhinedottir has always been name dropped here and there by Albedo himself, by Dainsleif, and Skirk as well. So yeah, she's somebody who I've been excited to meet, and looks like we're about to meet them, hopefully. But there's one thing, as a Genshin gamer, there's one thing that kind of stuck out to me when I think it was Ronova who dissed the Cryo Archon's power level. Kinda hints that these shades will not be playable because of that, because maybe their power level is just too much beyond what any playable character in the game can be in terms of game balance. But you know, the gameplay and lore doesn't usually match, but I digress. Oh, by the way, if you like to see my Genshin adventures, I just created recently a gaming channel called Lionmight Gaming, link below. I post mainly scuffed Genshin videos, like that time when I used my C6 Furina to try to go one-on-one on all the weekly bosses. Yeah, fun time that was. And if you watch until this end of the video, you're a total champ. I will see you in the next video. Bye.